The galaxy was quiet. Too quiet. Far away, beyond the reach of most star maps, a single alien ship drifted in the darkness. Its engines were dead, its lights fading. Inside, strange, insect-like creatures, the Varine, huddled together. Their leader, Elder Varek, whispered in a trembling voice. "They are coming. The Dominion will find us. There is no escape." Before anyone could answer, a blinding flash lit up the stars. A massive warship appeared, its hull shining with the symbols of the Zereth Dominion, the most feared empire in the galaxy. The Varine screamed in terror. The Dominion ship fired, and the tiny vessel exploded into a ball of fire. Silence returned. Then, from the shadows, another ship appeared. Different. Sleek, dark, and silent. It didn't match any known design. It glided past the wreckage like a predator, watching. From inside, a calm human voice spoke. "Target confirmed. Operation begins." The mysterious ship vanished into the void. Centuries earlier, before humans were known across the stars, the Varine were a weak and peaceful species. They lived on lush green worlds, building beautiful crystal cities. They had no armies, no weapons, no idea how cruel the galaxy could be. Then the Zereth Dominion came. The Dominion was a vast, merciless empire. They enslaved weaker races, stripping their worlds for resources. When they reached Varine space, the Varine begged for mercy. None came. The galaxy watched, and did nothing. No species dared to challenge the Dominion. Helping the Varine would mean war. And so, the Varine worlds burned, one by one. But one small, young species did not look away. Humans. At that time, humans were not powerful. They had only a handful of starships, barely able to travel between nearby systems. Compared to the mighty Dominion, they were ants before a giant. And yet, they chose to act. Late one night, a secret human fleet arrived in Varine territory. Without asking for payment or glory, they rescued a few thousand Varine and hid them on distant, uncharted worlds. The operation was small, quiet, and dangerous. If the Dominion discovered it, humanity would be destroyed. The Varine swore an oath that day. Elder Varek's ancestors promised the humans, "We will never forget. One day, we will repay this favor." But as the centuries passed, the memory faded. The Varine rebuilt their people in hiding, while humans expanded slowly, cautiously. The galaxy came to view humans as unremarkable, friendly traders, explorers, nothing more. Most powerful species even laughed at them. No one remembered the ancient rescue. No one, except the Varine. Now, deep beneath Earth's surface, a secret human council was meeting. In a dark chamber lit only by holograms, military leaders and scientists sat around a massive table. General Lawson frowned as he read the glowing message before him. "It appeared 3 hours ago," he said. "No sender. No traceable signal. Just one line of text." He read it aloud, voice echoing in the silent room. "The favor you gave us must now be repaid." The room erupted in confusion. "What favor?" someone demanded. "This could be a trap," another shouted. "Maybe it's a mistake," said a young officer. "Or a prank." Lawson shook his head. "No. Whoever sent this knew how to bypass our most secure systems. They wanted us to see it." The room grew tense. Finally, a scientist named Dr. Merrick spoke softly. "There are old records, from before our expansion into space. A mission that was classified and erased from public history. It involved a rescue of another species." The council stared at him in shock. "Are you saying," Lawson asked slowly, "that this message is connected to that mission?" Before Merrick could answer, the lights flickered. The holograms shifted. A figure appeared in the center of the room, tall, thin, with insect-like features. Its body was covered in burns and scars. It was a Varine. The alien spoke in a voice full of pain and urgency. "Humans," it rasped. "You saved us once. You are the only reason we still exist. Now, we call upon you. The Dominion has found us again. They are coming to wipe us out. And when they are done with us, they will come for you. The chamber went silent. Every human present felt a chill run down their spine. Lawson leaned forward, his voice grim. What exactly are you asking us to do? The Vereen raised its head. Its many eyes glistened with desperation. Repay the debt. Help us fight. Or we will all fall. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. Red lights flashed. A technician shouted, "Incoming signal." Massive fleet movement detected near the outer colonies. The Vereen's hologram flickered and vanished, leaving only static. Lawson turned to the council. "This is no coincidence," he said. "The Dominion knows something. If they find us before we're ready." He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Everyone in the room understood. Humanity's ancient act of kindness had returned, not as a memory, but as a choice. Would they stand by and watch another species burn? Or would they fight, and risk the entire galaxy learning what humans were truly capable of? The camera pulls back, showing Earth from orbit, small, blue, and fragile against the endless stars. A shadow passes over it. A human warship, massive and silent, drifts past, disappearing into the void. A single line of text appears on the screen. "The favor you gave us must now be repaid." The room was silent after the hologram vanished. The only sound was the distant wail of alarms, echoing through the underground chamber. General Lawson stood motionless, staring at the empty space where the Vereen messenger had been. His jaw tightened. "They found us," he said softly. "The Dominion knows we exist." Around the table, fear rippled through the council members. For centuries, humanity had kept its true strength hidden. Out in the open, humans appeared peaceful, explorers, traders, scientists. But in secret, deep beneath the surface of their worlds, they had been preparing. Now, their secret was at risk of being exposed. The message decoded. Dr. Marek's hands shook as he worked furiously on a console, decoding fragments of the message the Vereen had sent before it cut off. He looked up, his face pale. "It wasn't just a warning," he said. "It contained data, locations, troop movements, plans. The Dominion isn't just hunting the Vereen." He swallowed hard. "They're expanding. If they reach our colonies, Earth will be next." Gasps filled the chamber. Admiral Reyes, a stern woman with sharp eyes, slammed her fist on the table. "This is why we should have stayed hidden. The galaxy thinks we're weak, and we should have kept it that way." Lawson's voice was calm but firm. "If we do nothing, the Vereen will be wiped out. And when the Dominion is done with them, they'll come for us anyway." Reyes glared at him. "So you want open war with the most powerful empire in the galaxy?" Before Lawson could respond, a young commander named Elias Drake stepped forward. His voice was steady, but there was fire in his eyes. "No," Drake said. "I want something worse. I want them to fear us." The room went still. Everyone turned to him. Drake continued. "The Dominion believes we are weak. That belief is our greatest weapon. If we move carefully, strike from the shadows, we can cripple them before they even understand what we are." Reyes crossed her arms. "And what happens when they do find out?" Drake smiled coldly. "By then, it will be too late." The Vereen's plea. As the council debated, a secure transmission came through. A shaky, damaged signal filled the room with static and faint cries. Slowly, the image of Elder Varek, the Vereen leader, appeared. His voice was strained, filled with desperation. "We are dying," Varek said. "The Dominion has destroyed 3 of our hidden colonies. My people, we cannot run any longer. You humans saved us once. We beg you, repay the debt." Lawson's expression softened, but his voice remained steady. "Elder Varek, humanity remembers its promises. But if we help you, we risk revealing ourselves to the entire galaxy." Varek's multiple eyes locked onto the camera. Then reveal yourselves. Let them see who you truly are. The signal cut out again, leaving only static and silence. The hidden fleet. Hours later, Commander Drake walked through a vast underground hangar, far beneath the surface of Mars. It stretched for miles, filled with rows of sleek, dark warships unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Soldiers and engineers moved with precision, preparing the ships for deployment. These were not the peaceful explorers that outsiders believed humanity to be. These were predators, weapons forged in secret. Drake placed his hand on the hull of one ship, whispering to himself, "They think we're weak. They think we're harmless. Good." General Lawson joined him, his face grim. "Are you certain about this plan?" Drake nodded. "We can't fight them head-on, not yet. But we don't need to. We strike where they least expect, disappear before they can react. Guerrilla tactics. Psychological warfare." Lawson gave a faint, approving smile. "Make them fear the dark." The Dominion responds. Far across the galaxy, aboard a colossal Dominion flagship, Supreme Commander Zarek studied a glowing map of space. His cold, reptilian eyes scanned the data as an officer reported. "My lord, 3 of our patrol fleets have vanished near uncharted territory. No distress calls. No wreckage." Zarek's clawed hand tightened on the edge of the table. "Vanished? Ships do not simply vanish." The officer trembled. "There are rumors, my lord." Survivors from one battle spoke of invisible attackers. Ships appearing and disappearing like ghosts. Zarek's voice was low and dangerous. "Ghosts do not destroy war fleets. Find them. And when you do, burn their worlds to ash." The officer bowed deeply and fled. The first move. Back in human space, the Council reached a decision. The humans would not wait to be attacked. They would strike first. Admiral Reyes addressed the room. "Our official stance remains the same. To the galaxy, we are explorers, harmless and weak. But in the shadows, our war begins tonight." Lawson added, "The Vereen asked for help. They will have it. But this is more than repayment. This is survival." Commander Drake gave the final words. "When the Dominion realizes who we really are, it will already be too late." The room went dark as the holographic map lit up, showing the first targets, Dominion supply lines and communication hubs. Cliffhanger ending. As the human fleet silently launched from hidden bases, a single Dominion scout ship drifted too close to their territory. Its pilot scanned the area, confused by strange readings. Suddenly, his radar went black. A whisper came through his comm system, a human voice, calm and cold. "Leave now. Or vanish like the others." The pilot's eyes widened in terror. Before he could react, his ship was swallowed by darkness. Back on Earth, a single line of text appeared on a secure human terminal. Phase 1, begin. The galaxy had always seen humans as explorers, traders, and diplomats. Harmless. Weak. Insignificant. That illusion was about to shatter. Opening scene, the Ghost Battle. A lone Dominion patrol fleet drifted through the darkness of space. 10 massive warships moved in formation, their hulls glowing with the red insignia of the Zareth Dominion. The lead commander, a cold and ruthless alien named Karath, sat in his command chair with absolute confidence. "Scan the area," Karath ordered. "Reports of ghost ships have been spreading. I want answers." His officers scrambled to obey. Moments later, one of them looked up in confusion. "Sir, scanners are showing nothing. Just empty space." Karath growled. "Increase the scan range." Before they could react, the lights flickered. The ship sensors went completely dark for a brief moment. Then, out of nowhere, a shadow passed across the viewport. Something huge was moving between the stars, but it didn't appear on any screen. "Contact!" a terrified officer shouted. "Right behind us." The crew turned just in time to see a sleek black warship uncloak directly above them. It fired once, silent, precise, and the Dominion vessel exploded into fragments. Panic erupted. Where did it come from? Where did it go? Someone screamed. Karatha's last sight before his ship was torn apart was the silhouette of a strange, angular vessel, human design, slipping back into invisibility. The entire Dominion fleet was gone within minutes. No distress calls. No survivors. Shock across the stars. Far away, in a Dominion capital world, Supreme Commander Zarek listened to the report with growing rage. The officer kneeling before him was shaking violently. "My lord, it happened again," the officer stammered. 10 warships destroyed in under 5 minutes. The attackers were invisible, like shadows. Zarek's reptilian eyes narrowed. "There are no invisible ships," he hissed. "Who dares play tricks on the Dominion?" The officer swallowed hard. "There were rumors, my lord. Some survivors claimed they saw humans." The room fell silent. Zarek stared at the officer, then burst into cruel laughter. Humans? The weak traders? The scavengers who beg for scraps? He sneered. Pathetic. But deep down, unease stirred in his mind. "If it is humans," he growled, "I want their homeworld burned to cinders." The hidden war begins. Meanwhile, in the shadows of space, the human fleet prepared for its next strike. Inside a command ship, Commander Elias Drake stood before a holographic map showing Dominion territory. General Lawson joined him, his face grim. The first strike was a success. "They don't know what hit them." Drake nodded, his voice cold. "They think it's just random sabotage. That's good. It will make them careless." He turned to his crew. "Tonight, we take more than ships. We take their fear." The hangar doors opened, revealing dozens of stealth warships, dark, silent, and deadly. One by one, they slipped into the void, completely invisible to sensors. Vereen refugees. On a distant hidden world, the Vereen huddled in underground shelters. Elder Varek watched a live feed of the human fleet striking Dominion targets. His many eyes glistened with awe. A young Vereen warrior whispered, "Elder, I thought humans were peaceful." Varek's voice trembled. "They are. But peace does not mean weakness." Another warrior asked, "Do you think they can truly stop the Dominion?" Varek looked toward the stars and spoke with quiet certainty. "They will not just stop them. They will make the galaxy fear them." The Dominion's desperation. The Dominion reacted swiftly. Zarek deployed entire battle groups to hunt the invisible threat. But everywhere they went, they found only wreckage, destroyed supply lines, silent communication hubs, missing fleets. It was as if an unseen hand was tearing their empire apart piece by piece. One frightened Dominion officer whispered to another, "They fight like demons. They strike without warning and vanish before you can see them." The other officer shook his head in terror. "No, they are demons." Human strategy revealed. Inside a dark war room aboard the human flagship Spectre, Commander Drake addressed his officers. "We don't match the Dominion in numbers," Drake explained. "If we fight them openly, we lose. So we won't fight openly." He pointed to glowing red marks on the map. "These are their lifelines, fuel depots, command relays, supply chains. We will cut them off, bleed them dry, and disappear before they understand what's happening." Lawson added, "The galaxy thinks we're still harmless. That illusion is our shield." Drake's eyes hardened. "And when they finally see us for what we are, it will be too late." The first major victory. The humans set their sights on a massive Dominion supply station orbiting a gas giant. This station was critical. Without it, Dominion fleets in the region would collapse. The battle began without warning. Dominion soldiers inside the station were laughing, drinking, and completely unprepared when the lights went out. Darkness swallowed the station. Strange, rhythmic thuds echoed through the halls. Panic spread. "Who's there?" one soldier shouted, his voice cracking. Then, from the shadows, a human strike team emerged. Silent, efficient, deadly. The station's defenses fell in minutes. Outside, Dominion ships scrambled to respond, but found nothing. The human fleet was already gone, leaving only wreckage. The galaxy reacts. News of the destruction spread quickly. Other alien species watched in shock. Many had once dismissed humans as harmless, even laughable. Now, whispers began to spread. "Did you hear? The Dominion lost an entire fleet, and they don't even know to who. They say the attackers come from the dark and never leave survivors." One terrified alien merchant whispered to another. "They look human, but they fight like nightmares." The galaxy began to tremble. Final scene, the Dominion's fury. Supreme Commander Zarek stood before a massive army of his soldiers, his voice echoing across the chamber. "These humans think they can challenge the Dominion," he roared. "We will show them what true power is." He raised his clawed hand high. "Burn their colonies. Hunt them to extinction. Leave nothing standing." The soldiers roared in response. But as they prepared to launch, deep in the darkness of space, human warships waited, silent and ready. A single human transmission cut through the void, calm and cold. "You wanted war. Now you'll have it." Cliffhanger ending. The final shot shows dozens of Dominion fleets jumping into human space, unaware that they are walking into a trap. The screen fades to black with a single line of text. The first strike was only the beginning. The void of space was silent. A colossal Dominion warfleet moved like a tide of fire, hundreds of warships burning brightly against the darkness. They were the largest force ever assembled, sent to crush humanity in one decisive strike. At the center of it all, aboard a monstrous flagship, Supreme Commander Zarek sat on his throne of black steel. His reptilian eyes burned with fury. "Humans think they are clever," Zarek hissed. "They hide in the shadows, striking from the dark. Today, we drag them into the light and destroy them." The officers around him cheered. They believed victory was certain. To them, humanity was small, weak, fragile. They had no idea what waited for them. The calm before the storm. In human space, Commander Elias Drake stood aboard the human flagship Spectre. The bridge was silent, every crew member tense and ready. Through the viewport, the stars glittered peacefully. But Drake's expression was cold and sharp. "They've taken the bait," General Lawson said quietly beside him. Drake nodded. "Good. Now they're right where we want them." He turned to his fleet captains, his voice like iron. "Hold position. Not yet. Let them believe they're safe." From the shadows of nearby asteroids, hundreds of hidden human ships waited. Their hulls were coated with advanced stealth plating, invisible to enemy sensors. All across the galaxy, the illusion of human weakness still held. The Dominion believed they were about to attack helpless prey. They were wrong. The trap is sprung. Moments later, Dominion ships burst into human space, weapons ready. "Scanners show a nothing," reported a confused Dominion officer. "No human fleets, no defenses." Zarek smiled cruelly. "Pathetic. Begin the bombardment." Before the first shot could be fired, the stars around them shifted. Shapes emerged from the darkness, massive warships appearing out of nowhere. One by one, human ships decloaked, surrounding the Dominion armada completely. Zarek's smile faded. What is this?" Then, Commander Drake's voice cut through the void, calm and deadly. "You wanted to see our strength. Now you will." Before Zarek could respond, the human fleet opened fire. The Battle of Shadows. The battle that followed was like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. Dominion ships were powerful, but they were predictable. They relied on sheer numbers and brute force. Humans fought differently. They struck in perfect coordination, appearing and disappearing like ghosts. Every move was precise, every strike planned. Dominion ships exploded in waves of fire as human warships weaved between them, cutting through their formations like knives through paper. Zarek roared in rage. Form a perimeter. Block their retreat. But there was no retreat. For the first time in history, the Dominion was outmatched. The Oath Keeper. As the battle raged, a shadow fell across the battlefield. At first, the Dominion soldiers thought it was a moon. Then they realized it was moving. Gasps of terror filled the comms as a planet-sized human warship emerged from behind a nearby gas giant. Its surface bristled with weapons and armor unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. On the Spectre, Drake's voice was quiet but filled with pride. Behold, the Oath Keeper. The massive ship powered up, its core glowing with blue light. Zarek's eyes widened in shock. They built this in secret? A single blast from the Oathkeeper tore through dozens of Dominion warships, erasing them in an instant. The galaxy had always thought humans were behind in technology. Now, they saw the truth. Humans had simply been hiding their power. The turning point. Panic spread through the Dominion ranks. Some ships fled. Others turned on each other in desperation. In the chaos, human boarding teams struck key Dominion flagships, disabling their command systems and cutting off communication. For the first time, the Dominion was blind. And afraid. Inside his burning flagship, Zarek clung to his throne, refusing to believe what was happening. They are just humans, he screamed. They cannot. Before he could finish, a human strike team burst into the throne room. Commander Drake stepped forward, his face calm and unreadable. Zarek stared at him in disbelief. You were nothing. Weak. Insignificant. Drake's voice was cold as ice. We were patient. With a single shot, Zarek fell. The Dominion Empire began to collapse. The galaxy watches. Across countless worlds, alien species watched the battle's final moments through intercepted transmissions. They saw the once mighty Dominion armada reduced to wreckage. They saw human warships, silent and unstoppable, standing victorious. And they heard Drake's voice as he broadcast a message across the galaxy. Long ago, humanity was spared by another species. We repaid that favor today. But hear this, humans do not forget kindness or betrayal. Choose wisely. The message ended, leaving only silence. The Varine's gratitude. On the hidden Varine world, Elder Varek stood with tears in his many eyes. His people cheered as they watched the Dominion fall. A young Varine warrior whispered, "Elder, what now?" Varek spoke softly, filled with awe and fear. Now, the galaxy will never look at humans the same way again. The final revelation. As the smoke of battle cleared, the human fleet gathered around the Oathkeeper. General Lawson looked at Drake. The Dominion is broken. The galaxy is watching. What happens next? Drake's eyes were cold, unblinking. Next, he said, we make sure no one ever underestimates us again. The camera pulled back, showing the Oathkeeper floating silently among the stars, its massive form casting a shadow across entire planets. One final line appeared on the screen. They thought humans were weak. They were wrong. End of story. This ending shows humanity's rise from underestimated explorers to a force of terror and power. It closes the story arc, while leaving room for future tales, new enemies, new challenges, and a galaxy forever changed by the truth about humans.